What do I want to know, and what do I know about literacy? First off, literacy isn't just about how to read and write. True literacy lets us understand the world and the people around us. It allows us to speak up, to articulate ourselves against the social inequities that bind. Literacy brings people from around the world together through books, podcasts, music, social media, and video. It allows citizens to comprehend and critique the political systems that surround them. And it provides the necessary skills for people to provide for themselves as they see fit. Most of all, literacy means a fairer and more open world for all of us. In social studies and history, literacy means criticality. By analyzing current events, social issues, and politics, students investigate the power relations that define much of their lives. A good literacy teacher will recognize the challenges inherent in this endeavor. Often, the style of language used in the news, in op-eds, and online is complex and provides relatively little context. Additionally, the curriculum requires students to read these texts extensively and to demonstrate their understanding through difficult forms of writing, such as persuasive essays. Academic fluency becomes increasingly necessary as students consider broad, abstract ideas like racism, gender, discrimination, and poverty. Teacher candidates, myself included, contemplate these challenges relentlessly. We want to know so much about literacy. For example, how do we access the immense knowledge of ELL students who, despite having limited writing and speaking ability, are intimately familiar with the current events that we know only through the news? How do we create a classroom that encourages intentional, incremental reading and writing practices? Or, in addition, how can we encourage literacy as a means of understanding and empathizing with people who are different from ourselves? There are still more questions. How might an interdisciplinary approach work to enhance student comprehension of social issues? For example, could collaboration between myself and an art, English, or music teacher add a more human element to stories that have been reduced to dollar amounts and figures? Indeed, my questions seem almost endless. But perhaps the most fundamental one is, how can we use literacy to make the world a better place? These are all questions that I, and I think many of us, continue to pore over, experiment with, and expand as part of an ongoing, inquiry-based practice. And though we will never stumble upon a perfect form of teaching, the effort to become better than we are is, itself, a just act. What I do know, however, is encouraging. Social studies offers an opportunity to use multiple forms of text, from written to video, audio, and visual to study the same idea. With practice, they can be synthesized together and, as a result, mutually reinforce one another. Social studies and history also gives opportunities for independent reading practice as well as chances for speaking in an academic setting. Discussions, debates, and peer teaching are only the tip of this iceberg. In general, literacy in this context can be expanded by delving into a topic deeply and holistically. For example, we might investigate a historical event through cause and effect and differing perspectives. Tasks which lend themselves well to literacy-rich routines like split-page note-taking, anticipation guides, and journal writing. Moreover, I know that social studies and history can be used as and for social justice. As in the case of groups like the Manitoba Writing Project, educators are using current issues to fuel literacy learning. Because students are already deeply invested in many current events, these educators can capitalize by teaching literacy and expression skills, which allow students to articulate and defend their positions. Pedagogy such as this shows great promise in its unification of practical skill building, constructivist engagement, and social awareness. In all of this, in this entire wonderful and wonderfully messy field, there are a few guiding principles I hold true. I know that creating a literacy-rich classroom means fostering a community that supports risk-taking and provides ample time for practice. It relies on providing content and assignments which engage students in issues that matter to them. I believe that rigor and structure should not be used for their own sake, but rather as pathways to the practical skills which are required for a strong personal, professional, or political voice. Additionally, I know that classrooms should not be content with simple tolerance. Rather, we should encourage our students to express their identities and be accepting and appreciative of the differences of others. Finally, I know that creating a rich classroom relies on my willingness to never stop learning.